Hi Year 7s. So this video is going to be a quick video on exercise 5.4 from the Year 7 textbook. This is about types of angles and how to name angles. Okay, so these are I'm just going to put myself there, the different types of angles that you should be aware of. So an acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. The way I think of it is the angle's acute, it's small, therefore it's an acute. So acute is, obviously this is 90 degrees. Anything lower than that is an acute. A right angle is when it's exactly 90 degrees. Obtuse, it's when it's bigger than 90 degrees, but it's not bigger than 180. So you guys know 180 is a flat line, which is known as a straight line here. So that's 180. And this is in between 90 and 180. So if you look at a protractor or any angles, anything that's bigger than 90, but let me just try to do it like that, that is an obtuse angle. A reflex angle is an angle that is greater than 180. So if you've got a flat line and then it goes this way, so this entire angle that is over 180, it is a reflex. And obviously a full rotation, when you go in one full circle, this is at 360 degrees. So you need to be aware of the names and be able to identify them. So what I want you guys to do is pause the video now, and I want you in your books to write down A, B, C, D, E, F. Try draw these angles, and I want you to state the name. So which one's right, which one's acute, which one's obtuse, and things like that. So pause the video and get those questions done. Okay, another thing you need to know is complementary and supplementary angles. So if a question asks about complementary angles, that means they're angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if you've got two sets of angles, so obviously here there's two angles, this one and this one. When you add them together, 52 plus 38 gives you 90 degrees. So whenever angles, it could be more than two. So for example, could be an angle like this. Let's say this is, let me just try to think, it could be 30. Let's say each one is 30. It looks around equal. And obviously when you add them together, it gives you 90 degrees. The complementary angles is when angles add up to 90. Supplementary angles is when the angles add up to 180. So obviously you've got a straight line. We know that's 180 means it's a straight line. And when you add them together, it is 180. So it could be a line like, let's say if it's like this. Let's say this is 100. Oh, I'm just gonna run that. That's a degrees symbol, by the way. So if this is 100 and we know that the total amount has to be 180, we know that this has to be 80 degrees. Some of the questions you'll get is identifying the missing angle. A way to remember the difference between complementary and supplementary is, if you think about the alphabet, C comes before S. So C means it will be the lower value. So that's how I remember it. Complementary means 90 degrees. S is later on. I'm assuming it's going to be bigger, so 180 degrees. Okay, so I want you guys to stop the video and I want you to draw these and answer these questions. So I'm telling you that this is 45 degrees and I want you to find X. That means I have no idea, the angle is not stated, but I want you to find out, knowing what complementary and supplementary is, find out what X is. And same with this. Let's say this is 10 degrees. Let's say this is 30. Find out what X is. So find out which one's complementary, which one's supplementary, and find out when you add them together what angle should it add up to. Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to fix this up. Okay, sorry about that, editing issues. So when you've been given an angle, obviously we talked about the types of angles, but when it comes to naming, there's a specific way to name an angle. So usually what happens is you've been given an angle and there's letters. There's letters that represent the arms of the angle and a letter that represents where the angle is. So there is a way to identify or name these angles using letters. The way to do it is you start off at one arm, at one end, the W in this case, then you go across to X, that's where the angle is, and then you go down to the next arm. So a way to name it is WXY, WXY. You can also go the other way. So you can go Y, X, and W. You can go that way as well. The important thing you need to know is that the angle, where the angle is and where the letter is, that needs to be in the middle. That is the main thing. What letter you put on either side doesn't matter as long as the letter in the middle is where the angle is. All right, I want you guys to copy down 2 and I want you to try and name them. There are 2 names that you can try. Please make sure that the letter in the middle is the letter of the angle. Okay. Name each acute and obtuse angle in the following diagram. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. So I'll do A and you guys try to do B and C. So it says to name each acute and obtuse angle. So first we'll identify the acute. So I see this is obviously an acute one here and there's another acute one here because it's less than 90. So I'm going to identify this one here first. I can write that as, I'm going to start off with one arm. So Y goes to O and then it goes to M. That is that arm, or I can write it the other way, M-O-Y. It's still showing the same angle. This is the acute one, by the way. And then this one is M-O-N, and or I can go the other way, N-O-M. So that's this one here. So now I've listed the 2 of the acute angles in multiple ways. If I were to look at the obtuse ones, so we know obtuse means that it has to be over 90 degrees. So, okay, so I've rubbed off the other writing that I did. So obtuse means it has to be over 90 degrees. And looking at this picture, I can only see one. I mean, you can look at any arms you like as long as it follows the rule. So I can see this and this. So this entire thing here, that is an obtuse angle because it's bigger than 90 degrees. So these are the letters I should be concerned about. M, N, and Y unrelated. So again, making sure that the angle in the middle, so this is the angle, and the letter attached to it is O. So I'm going to write X, O, M, because that's the other arm, or I can write it the other way, M, O, X. And if you've noticed, in all these examples, the letter O was the one in the middle, and it seems to be in the middle of the picture as well, but just be careful. It can change depending on the question. I don't think I can identify any more obtuse angles, unless you can. So those are my answers. So I want you to try and look at B and C carefully. I want you to draw them out, write the letters carefully, and state all the acute angles and all the obtuse angles as well. Once you're done, I want you to guys do Jack Plus. So this is exercise 5.4 in the year 7. So once you've done all the work in throughout the PowerPoint, try question 2 and 6C. And if you want to challenge yourself, do question 9. That's it, guys. Good job.